Browns take on the Chargers 1 o'clock, FirstEnergy Stadium, Christmas Eve. Dan Labbe alongside Scott Patsko. And Scott, let's start with that Chargers offense. The Browns are going to have to deal, of course, with Phillip Rivers and that downfield passing game. 15 completions of 40-plus yards for the Chargers. That's a real problem for the Browns.
It is. It's weird. You can cherry pick stats off the Chargers and make it look any way you want to. That's obviously an impressive one. Phillip Rivers leads the NFL with 18 interceptions this year, which I think the defense is obviously looking at chances to add to that. But yeah, definitely the speed and Travis Benjamin coming back and I'm sure wanting to make his mark here back at FirstEnergy Stadium. I think that's a big concern and being able to stay behind those receivers.
Yeah, and the Browns secondary, of course, Joe Hayden revealed today he'll have off-season surgery on both of his groins. So he's been slowed. Brian Body Calhoun has played well. Jamar Taylor dealing with a groin injury. So that secondary, they're going to have their work cut out for him. There's some good news for the Browns. Melvin Gordon likely not to play this week. He's approaching 1,000 yards rushing, and he scored 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's averaging 3.9 yards per carry, though. Maybe a little bit more of a boomer bust, similar to Isaiah Crowell in that respect. But, yeah, that's a big plus for the Browns because, obviously, they've had a hard time stopping people in the run game. So knowing that they're not going against San Diego's top rusher is going to be huge. The
other thing they've had trouble doing, and I know you're going to write a little bit about this, is covering tight ends. Well, they've got to cover two good ones. Kent State product, of course, Antonio Gates, and then Hunter Henry as well, 435 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's actually their leading tight end receiver. It's been an issue for the Browns.
Yeah, Ray Horton talked about that a little bit, and he considers Gates a future Pro Bowler, a future Hall of Fame tight end, and he says he's said this a lot. They basically just have to play better. There is no magic formula here. They just need to do better against tight ends. Hugh Jackson expects the Chargers to try to exploit that like a lot of teams have. They got 2 games left to try and figure it out. I don't know if that's enough time to do that.
On the other side of the football, the 9th-ranked rush defense for the Chargers, Kirby Wilson talked about how stout that the Chargers were up the middle. But the pass rush, something we've got to watch. Joey Bosa, of course, the Browns had a chance to pick him. They did not. They chose to trade down. Joey Bosa has 7.5 sacks in 10 games. Melvin Ingram has 7 sacks as well. So whoever is at quarterback, whether it's Robert Griffin III or whether he gets replaced by Cody Kessler, there's a couple of guys that are going to get after him.
I think Ingram's the one everybody kind of forgets about there. Everybody has seen Joey Bosa and has focused on his game. One of the big matchups could be Joe Thomas against Ingram coming on the outside, but either side and either way you look at it, you're going to have another defense with a huge pass rush, and that's something that the Browns seems to have every week.
Kickoff 1 o'clock Christmas Eve. We'll have full coverage of the game at cleveland.com/Browns on Saturday.